Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today we are talking The Breakfast Club, you guys, giving Drake Donkey of the Day. So anything I say is alleged, and in my very personal opinion, this is for entertainment purposes only. None of this is personal, so let's get into it. So The Breakfast Club has strong reactions to Drake filing, taking legal matters now with the two petitions to sue UMG basically for Not Like Us, for, alleging that the streams were manufactured, alleging that the song isn't successful as what people are claiming, alleging that there were bots being used to try to help promote the song, and people were being paid to promote the song, and that there were all of these tactics that were used. He doesn't believe that the culture really likes the song like that. And then in the second petition is about the fact that basically, for instance, when you ask Siri to say certified lover boy, Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us comes up saying certified lover boy, certified certified pedophile, right? And so nonetheless, here's what happened, right? Because I'm going to give you what Charlamagne, Jess Hilarious, and DJ Envy said, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts on that. So first and foremost, Charlamagne is giving Drake Donkey of the Day. He low-key kind of gloats that he predicted this back in May, that Drake was going to more than likely file a lawsuit because of this, because of the simple fact of the allegations of the, pedo and sex offender, and that he would have been shocked if Drake didn't take any legal action. But he basically said, the person who has the defamation case, who should be suing for defamation, actually should be Kendrick Lamar's significant other, because basically, per Drake's diss records, she was the one that was being accused of having a different baby father for one of the children that she shares with Kendrick Lamar. Like, basically trying to put out there that she's out here in these streets getting pregnant by different dudes, and then also making allegations that she is, an ABUSE victim. And if none of that is true, and you have no receipts to validate anything like that, that's slander, that's defamation. So Charlamagne was like, she's got a case. And then, basically said, hey, if you are going to try to sue somebody for defamation, make sure that you're not defaming anyone as well. And then he said it was the pot calling the kettle beige. And he said the reason also he's giving Donkey of the Day to Drake is because he feels that Drake doesn't understand the culture. He said that he used to argue with Glasses Malone, who has a podcast. Basically, they didn't see it for Drake. They've always maintained that they never felt that Drake actually was hip-hop, that he was a pop artist, and that he's similar to Madonna as far as being manufactured, and it's not for the culture, right? And so Charlamagne would always argue against these points, but now with these, Drake getting lawyers involved and trying to go after UMG, he feels now more than ever that, now he agrees. And he says, this argument that Not Like Us isn't as popular as people are claiming, he says that's not true. He said it was popular then, it's still popular now, and I did the video telling you guys about the receipts, that the streaming is up and the sales are up 440% of Not Like Us since Drake wanted to do the most. And so nonetheless, Charlamagne called it a cultural phenomenon and said that is something you cannot purchase. You cannot purchase the culture. You cannot, buy a culture or anything of that nature. And basically joked that Cali should, re-identify their state from being Eureka to basically being Not Like Us. That should be their model. And so essentially he didn't understand Drake going this route legally, because he's saying that you're supposed to be, this big artist. You still have a very large fan base that support you even when you put out trash, right? But basically was saying that, UMG, at one point in time when you were the number one artist, there were things that you benefited from them, that they did for you to push you forward, to have you make sure that you were everywhere, and wanted to know how you would have felt if it was Kendrick that was the one complaining, and, Kendrick the one in his feelings about the defamatory claims that Drake made in his diss records. And he said, you're still a huge artist, Drake, but you shouldn't be believing your own hype, because this type of trickery, you were benefiting. There was a time when you were on all the magazine covers. There was a time when you went to the browse page of the Spotify app as well as Apple Music, and your face was in all the covers of every single playlist, and believed that Apple Music called theirs Scorpio season. So he says basically you've benefited from record labels, doing some trickery as well, and feels that Drake is being a 304 because you lost, because Kendrick Lamar kicked your bleep, lyrically, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally, and essentially said that if anybody believes that Drake is doing this for any other reason, for the simple fact he's in his feelings, they have a bridge to sell you, right? And you're too much of a Drake fanboy or fangirl to see this for what it is. And then he called out the people. Oh, and then he said people, the fact that he's doing this for her feelings as well, he's a 304, but anybody else that is trying to make it seem that it's something else, that it's not, that they're a 304 too, and specifically an OV 304. Then Charlamagne was mad that people had the audacity to compare this to the war that Michael Jackson had against Sony, and, trying to argue that Drake is taking a stand for the artists in the music industry and trying to defend the art and protect the art. And he says that that is completely and utterly ridiculous and bogus. And you are just so, so pro Drake that you cannot see anything, right? And feels that Drake is handling this awful. It is not handling this in a good way. Feels that essentially Drake is mad because he was the one that decided to tap out after Not Like Us, and feels as though that Kendrick Lamar, really just basically had too much music, had too much content for Drake to truly sit down and absorb and understand and really process. When he hit them with the 616 in LA, the Euphoria, the Meet the Grams, and Not Like Us, and then he says what I said, that you could have wrote a hit record or got your ghostwriters in there and did a diss record back and did something back to keep this going. And he says, Kendrick told you to squabble up, not lawyer up, and basically says at this point the advice that he would give Drake is to essentially take a break from all of this, to go away, allow the people to miss you, allow the fans to miss you, and all the things, and compare it to what J. Cole is doing. Everybody forgot about J. Cole and all this beef and him catching a stray, and remember him pulling his portion out of the diss record because he didn't want any smoke with anybody and all the things, and he completely disappeared from the, from all of this. And now he is back because now he is doing a scripted audio series, and now it is an anniversary of one of his albums, and also I believe he's got new music coming out as well. So it's like a trifecta of where basically J. Cole disappeared during this beef, and now all of these months have passed, and now he's back, and now everybody's excited about J. Cole again. Everybody is reminiscing on J. Cole again. He is talking about some of the early things that went on in his career and all of the things, and everybody's got reactions to it. And Charlamagne's basically saying, Drake has enough in his history here in the music industry to take a break and then come back and do something to where, people are going to be talking about it and all the things. But basically said that, if you think that you're going to be stopping the fact that Kendrick Lamar is the go-to right now, is the hot artist right now, is the hot rapper right now, if you think you're going to stop that momentum, you're not. And then I got mad at this portion, you guys, because Jess Hilarious comes in and she is clueless as to what fight Michael Jackson had, you guys. And I'm thinking to myself, even if you didn't know in 2024, have you been under a rock regarding the recent legal battle Sony was in with the Michael Jackson estate and ending up getting back half of the catalog that Michael Jackson essentially died for? Like I'm so agitated. How can you be on a show about celebrity news and gossip, about pop culture and all of these things, and have no clue not only the reason, of how big of a deal Michael Jackson owning all this catalog was, that basically owned like half the industry, and especially owned that Beatles catalog, and how much money that was worth, billions. And they were so pissed off that Michael Jackson owned it, and you did not know that was why they started with the child molestation allegations, because they basically went on a Michael Jackson smear campaign. They tried to make this man go broke, but he still always had the catalog and everything else, and they couldn't get the catalog essentially until all of these years later, and I'm pissed that his kids just willfully gave up on this. But that's a whole nother conversation. So anyways, DJ Envy comes in. I don't know if he's like a Drake fanboy. I don't know. It was like very weird. I don't know if it was like light skin unity. I don't know what was taking place. But DJ Envy comes in and he's like, well, maybe, this is what the people are saying, that Drake was in negotiations for a new contract and that this was hurting the potential money that he could be offered. And, is saying, and then wants to bring up again about the allegations that the streams for Not Like Us are fake and that they're fake stats. And, Charlamagne's like, listen, separate from Not Like Us, several people have padded streams, right? And because we know infamously, Tidal got in trouble. Remember Tidal got in trouble because they said, I believe it was like for the Lemonade album and one of Kanye's albums and something else. They said that the streams that were originally reported, that you could not literally listen to that much of that album, even if you played that album all the way through and listened to it back to back to back in a 24-hour period, that did not match what realistic streams were based off of the number of users you had and the number of people who actually were streaming those particular albums. It was like some astronomical number that was unrealistic, and they got in trouble for it. And then for some reason, DJ Envy is desperately trying to find a song that is on the level of Not Like Us, and trying to say Hip Hop Hooray, trying to say Knuck If You Buck, and trying to say swag surfing, because Taylor Swift did swag surfing, and I was just confused. And then said, I guess Charlamagne kind of agreed that In the Club and Back That Thing Up was kind of a big deal, but basically still said, even with that being said, it's not on the level of Not Like Us, right? So just a couple of things that I want to say in regards to this, in regards to the commentary. Like I said, I'm agitated with Jess Hilarious. And this is my biggest issue with her, of just not having the research and not having the information. But the Michael Jackson and the ATV catalog and his issues with Sony is like common knowledge. And you not knowing about the catalog and its worth and its significance, and Michael Jackson owning it for all these years and all these decades, and you not knowing the reason that the child molestation allegations came because of that, and why even till this day, even after they got some of the catalog back, they're still smearing his name, they're still doing these documentaries and all of these things, still trying to come after him. And the man is not physically here on Earth anymore to even defend himself. But nonetheless, why is it so hard for people to research? If you don't know something, why not be informed? But I hate that she just assumed, just assumed whatever about Michael Jackson. And this is the issue that I have. And it sucks because there's probably a lot of people like Just Hilarious who just assumed that the child molestation accusations just happened to just happen. It was just a coincidence, right? Like there was no rhyme or reason, right? Like this really happened. No. And then DJ Envy, I feel like low-key he was trying to take up for Drake because it got to a point when Charlamagne was like, listen, like, what are you doing? Like you're sounding ridiculous. And DJ Envy, he was trying to get defensive and be like, oh no, this isn't me. This is what the people are saying. And it's like, no. Deep down, you want to, feel this way as well. And you're trying to make it seem like you're neutral, but it's sounding like you're trying to be a spokesperson, and it's not going well. As for Charlamagne's commentary, a lot of what he said, I have said in previous videos. I said that taking the legal route is a coward move. I also said, and this wasn't something that Charlamagne said, but I also said that this was an opportunity as well, that Drake potentially is trying to stop Kendrick Lamar from performing Not Like Us at the Super Bowl, or potentially stopping him from performing altogether. I don't think that's going to happen, though. I'd be shocked if that happened. But nonetheless, and also I agree with a lot of the things he said, which are things that I've already said, which was, why didn't you get in the studio and respond to Not Like Us? That a lot of this goes away if you came out with a banger, if you came out with a response to Kendrick. But instead, you were so hurt by Not Like Us and its popularity and it being everywhere, you couldn't cope. You couldn't deal. So you were on your petty wop phase of just unfollowing people and blocking any of your celebrity friends that dared to dance to the song, that dared to show up in the music video, that dared to attend the concert that Kendrick Lamar did where he performed the song multiple times in a row. You just went on a petty wop spree. And that could have been an opportunity to be in the studio and working on a nice track to respond. And you could have continued to reap the benefits of the ongoing back and forth. And, then the pressure goes back on Kendrick on whether or not he wants to do another response after that. But you basically, mailed it in. And you threw in the towel. And now all of a sudden, and like I said as well, now after the Grammy nominations are announced, where Kendrick has all these nominations, now after, Kendrick obviously was named to be the Super Bowl halftime performer. Now after, there's rumors that you allegedly have a R&B album coming out with Party Next Door, and rumors that you have, contract negotiations and all of these things. Now all of a sudden, you want to take some legal action, and you do this right after Kendrick announces a surprise new album. And we just get hit, bam, bam, 2 new petitions, 2 new threats of lawsuits against UMG. Like it's so obvious as to you were trying to, put a halt to all of the positive press and attention that Kendrick Lamar was receiving, and it backfired. And now, again, they're trying to dig up dirt on you, Drake. They're trying to, it's going to be some type of a humiliation at this point. They're going to do something, whether it's the issue with the X murder and one of the murderers trying to file an appeal and include Drake, that Drake should be a person of interest. But Drake, you need to make sure all of your, everything there is clean on your end, and that there's no potential skeletons that really can derail and ruin your career. But this was not the approach to take at all. Like I said, you should have either taken a break, taken some time off, allowed your fans to miss you, and come out with the best record of your life, or got back in the booth, tried to kill the momentum of the success of Not Like Us, and responded with something that would have, knocked Not Like Us out of the park. but you knew that you were outmatched, you knew that you were outperformed, and Kendrick got one over you. But nonetheless, you guys are both at you're both with UMG, and you can't be mad, and I've said this too, you can't be mad at the same tactics that you've seen benefit yourself and in your peers, that you're mad that somebody else is getting that benefit. But the difference is, nobody looks at Drake as somebody for the culture, right? They're not, they like his songs may be catchy, might be pop or whatever. More so people like a lot of Drake's features than anything else, than a lot of his solo stuff. And a lot of people prefer his earlier records, as in his first couple of albums and his mixtapes, because that's when he technically was actually rapping, right? But nonetheless, and you've also benefited from previous rap beefs with Meek Mill, with Kanye / Pusha T and everything else. You've been on the receiving end of getting the praise. And you stayed in your lane as a singing bleep and did what you needed to do. But nonetheless, you know, the trigger fingers and Twitter fingers and the memes and hanging out with random podcasts and telling them to turn off Kendrick Lamar like it's lame. And then trying to be all up in DeMar DeRozan's face. Listen, it's not that deep. You, like I said, you're handling all of this wrong. And you are tarnishing your own legacy with this level of foolishness. So you can't be mad that a song that's already popular, a song that's already hot, is even more popular. And they're not going to stop playing it. The sales have surged because of you being in your feelings. So you are completely missing the mark. I don't know if you have too many yes people around you or people who are giving you wrong advice, but you need to take a break, Drake. You need to just disappear, reappear whenever your tour starts in New Zealand and Australia in February of next year, and keep it moving. Because everything that you've been doing since Not Like Us has come out has been a complete L. Has been embarrassing. You finally are cutting your hair now after trying to look like A$AP Rocky and his braids and everything else. Now all of a sudden, you've let go temporarily of the obsession with Rihanna to move back to this now obsession with, Kendrick. And people, I think somebody also asked, I can't remember if it was Envy or whoever that asked, well, why didn't Drake sue Kendrick and is suing UMG? And he's like, essentially, it's the same thing. It's basically like, listen, you're trying to burn down the house, and you know that Kendrick Lamar is in that burning house, right? Because obviously Kendrick is with UMG too, but it makes zero sense when you have benefited from this, and if the rumors are true that you're up for a new contract, this isn't it. So there's that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.